Alright, guys, so I'm going to be talking about the first 3 episodes of Andor in this video. The first bit of it is going to be a spoiler free discussion, just my general overall vibes on the show. And then I'll get into some spoilery stuff. So, the first 3 episodes of Andor, which was essentially the season premiere, if you don't know, every week they're going to be releasing 3 new episodes. And from what I understand, the reason why they're doing that is because after every 3 episode chunks, uh, the passage of time within the show is going to be a year. So next week, those chunk of episodes are going to be a year after what we just saw, which I think is interesting. I think at first people were like, "Uh oh, is the season not good? Or are they just kind of trying to like get it over with?" Kind of like what they did with uh Echo. Yeah, because I think Echo, they just like kind of dropped all the episodes at once, right? Because they were like, all right, let's get this out over a weekend. We'll just move on after that. um, but good news. The show's good. It's great even. It is more Andor thus far. It picks up like right off of season one, especially in the sense of like there were a lot of storylines where I was like, huh, what's going on with you exactly? Oh, y'all are a thing? I don't remember y'all being a thing. In fact, I remember I kind of thought that y'all had a contentious relationship. Okay. But overall, I think as time went on, I started remembering the characters a little more. I started remembering the storylines a little more. Pretty sure Ben Mendelsohn, who I don't think he was in the first season, he was just in Rogue One. He's in this, which is cool. But yeah, all the strengths of season one of Andor are still here. I think a lot of the performances are great. The guy who plays Luthen, I forget his name. He's phenomenal. Honestly, the actress that plays Mon Mothma, she probably gives the best performance of these first 3 episodes. Like what she gets to do is genuinely pretty fantastic in my opinion. Diego Luna is great as Cassian Andor. Bix is she's a standout here as well. It's like all the performances are just great. The best thing about this show for sure is the way that they show how messy rebellion is, how messy the Empire's fascism is. The rebellion sometimes has to do things that aren't necessarily the cleanest. They really go out of their way to showcase how gross and awful the Empire is, right? Like they're genuinely just like straight up fucking Nazi fucking not like Nazis going into towns and like looking for refugees and whatnot. um so yeah, I think if you like the first season, then you're gonna like these first 3 episodes. I think that if you didn't like the first season, I mean, yeah, you're probably not gonna like these first 3 episodes. And if you still haven't seen Andor, I mean, I recommend the first season. And then I also recommend these first 3 episodes. So, yeah, overall, good stuff. Looking forward to the rest of it. All right, now let's get into some spoilery stuff. So, I feel like they kind of right off the bat made Andor a more interesting character. I feel like making him very, like, confident. He's the one that's calming down this young girl that they're recruiting into the rebellion. I feel like they just made him they gave him more agency as a character, where it's like he's taking control in all of these situations that they put him in, which I think is pretty cool, because that was a thing that I felt in the first season, where it's like this show is such an ensemble. It's so much bigger than just Cassian Andor, and I thought Cassian Andor was like low-key the least interesting part of his own show. They're definitely improving him so far in these first 3 episodes. Bix, from what I remember in the first season, she got tortured by the rebellion, right? If I remember correctly, and so she does have nightmares of she was not tortured by the rebellion; she was tortured by the Empire, and so she starts having these dreams of like of an Imperial guy coming in late at night, and like I guess like in the dream or in the nightmare, he like rips off her covers, and that's obviously comes to fruition in a sense later on. So yeah, they go there. Low key, I thought the wedding was the best storyline of these first 3 episodes. I thought that everything going on with like Luthen and really showing what he's willing to do for the Empire, right? Killing that guy in cold blood. Um, his like this guy's performance. Oh god, I forget what his name is, but the way he's able to like code switch between wealthy aristocrat, whatever, to rebel leader. Awesome, really, really cool. Everything with like all the like conversations between Mon Mothma and Luthen, and then with the guy that they end up having the problem with, and the fact that they have to like speak in code. And I just thought all the intrigue within this storyline, all the like coded threats and whatnot, and then you throw in her family dynamics. I just thought that was low key more interesting than like Andor with the group of like kids in the woods, and low key more interesting than what was going on at the Gandaria, whatever planet it was. I was just surprised that I thought a wedding was the best part about a Star Wars show. But yeah, speaking of the Gandaria, whatever planet, I also like the cat and mouse game that they had to play with the Empire, doing everything they can to avoid getting checked on. So I thought all of that was very tense and very well done. So I guess they reveal that there is a specific rock from this planet that they are trying to, I guess, find an alternative for, but then they're still like making plans in case they end up having to mine the rock from this planet. But I guess it's interesting that the Empire doesn't necessarily want to just like wipe out or like cause mass deaths or whatever on this planet, but they are willing to do it. So it is kind of interesting to see them like sort of flesh out the Empire's morals in some sense, where it's like they're willing to be awful, right, when they feel they have to, but they would rather not. I just thought that was kind of interesting. And to be fair, is it because they actually feel that way morally, or is it because, you know, with the uprising, with the rebellion, maybe they want to avoid upsetting people too much, which would strengthen the rebellion. So I wonder if that's a part of it as well. And I do like seeing the rebellion fractured, right? I know a lot of people don't like the storyline, and I do think it's the weakest of the episode, but I like the fact that these rebels are clearly not on the same page, right? Like, they don't even know who Cassian Andor is. And I like that it doesn't matter if they're the good guys, right? If they're the rebellions, if you strand them on a planet, they're going to start fighting amongst themselves, right? Like, human nature is going to kick in. So I really liked what they were going for here. Although, yes, I do agree that it wasn't executed the best. I thought the rock, paper, scissors thing was fucking weird. But man, the parallels to things that go on in the real world is crazy. Like when they're going on about how they just start like making shit up about certain groups of people in order to make the populace hate them, has nothing to do with the real world. Am I right? No parallels to draw there. Absolutely not. Absolutely not relevant in 2025. Definitely not. No, but seriously, it was honestly kind of chilling watching that scene, because it's like the thing that I like first thought of was how, like, if you remember when Trump was like had that meeting with Zelensky in the Oval Office or whatever. And almost like clockwork, like all the conservatives were like, why is Zelensky not wearing a suit? He's disrespecting the White House. And then they all like say like the exact same thing about like endless war. Why do we want endless war? We need to stop funding Ukraine, yada yada yada. And it's like this shit happens in real life, right? Where like people create narratives, especially now that like the Elon Musk is in the government and he bought Twitter, and it's like, this shit's real, bro. And it was like, so, it was kind of chilling hearing them just like so explicitly explain how mass manipulation of people works, and how like this shit is clearly just happening. Like, I don't, you know. Anyways, and by the way, this show was written like 2 years ago, probably, and shot 2 years ago. So, you know, it's not even like it's trying to be in your face with real world politics. It just, what do you know? You make a show about a fascistic empire. It has similarities with what's going on today. Who could have thought that? But I will say, though, speaking of the empire, I do like that they still kind of make you root for this girl and her boyfriend. It's like, you still like them, right? Like, you still like these characters. You're still like rooting for them. You still get like, you're happy for her when she gets recognition. I mean, that's just a sign of a great show, right? But yeah, this guy, I guess, got screwed over because I think in the first season he agreed to help launder Mon Mothma's money so that she could fund the rebellion. And then because of that, he ended up losing money. And so now he's threatening to sell them out. So, again, I just love the whole wedding scene, all the tenseness and whatnot. I like that these two are just clearly not into each other anymore. I guess it's kind of interesting. So, Mon Mothma's culture is kind of like, they still do arranged marriages, it seems like, because that's sort of what this whole thing was. I would assume that she was also in an arranged marriage, and that's probably why it's a loveless marriage. It should just be noted that it's this guy's fault, right? That everything went wrong on the Gonganoid planet or whatever. He just had to go see his dumb girlfriend. Oh my god, she said, "You better not leave without telling me," or whatever. Guess what? Because of that, you got your friend killed, and your other friend almost. What do you say on YouTube in order to not get demonetized? Grape. The fruit grape. You almost made it happen, kid. So I hope you're happy that you have some emotional closure or whatever. But yeah, I guess speaking of the fruit scene, the grape scene, yeah, it's pretty crazy that Star Wars allowed Tony Gilroy to just do that. I saw there was like some controversy on Twitter that there's like some segment of Star Wars fans that are like, this isn't real Star Wars. There shouldn't be this in Star Wars. I think Star Wars Theory, he put out a tweet where he was like, the Empire would never condone this. Like, what? The Empire, they're willing to blow up planets, but they draw the line here. I think he even said like, Darth Vader would absolutely intervene if he saw this happening. So I guess I just missed the storyline where Darth Vader became the face of the Me Too movement. I don't know. I think it's fine. It's an adult-oriented show. I think you can have an adult-oriented show. Obviously, this would be out of place in the Young Jedi Adventures, but yeah, I think you should be able to make an adult-oriented Star Wars show, and I think that's okay. Is it against George Lucas's vision? I don't really care. I'm gonna be for real with you, no cap. Yeah, I didn't remember them being a couple. I'm gonna be honest with you. Yeah, I just don't remember them being a couple in the first season. Did they become a couple in the first season? Either way, I like the relationship. I kind of like that. I feel like they're just a good match for each other. You know, he's very timid, she's very headstrong. I think they complement each other well. And yeah, I do really like that Luthen. He really is just willing to do whatever he needs to do for the rebellion. Because I believe in the first season he betrayed Andor, right, at the end, and he was like, "Hey, bro, I do what I do for the rebellion, so you got out. That's great and stuff, but you got to respect my why I did what I did." I think that was an interaction right at the end. Could be misremembering, but either way, great character. Really like that actor. Skarsgård. His name is something Skarsgård. Bill Ben. I don't know. One of my major criticisms of Andor, however, is just the kind of lack of aliens. Like, I'm not even sure who the Gondorians even are. I don't remember what the planet's name is. I didn't remember who they are. Are they these aliens? Are they the human characters that we meet that are like natives to this planet? Who knows? But yeah, these little guys are like really the only aliens I think we see in the first 3 episodes, which is just like, I don't know, man. Put more aliens. I don't know if it's like a budgetary thing where they just don't want to pay for like the animatronics slash puppets slash people in costumes, or if it's a thing of like Tony Gilroy just doesn't really like he just doesn't actually like Star Wars, and so he's like, no, I don't want Jedi or aliens. I just want to make a war movie or a war series. Oh, I can't get funding for it. All right, I guess I'll make it Star Wars. Like, I wonder if that's part of the reason. But yeah, I don't care, Tony. Put more aliens in it. I also don't remember why she's mad at her mom. I'm just gonna be honest. I don't remember what their deal is. Uh, I don't actually know, but she's very pissy at her mom. And you know, children, am I right? Gotta beat them. Okay, can't be talking back to your mom like that. But she allows you to do it, so that's on her. Oh, I love this lady. I love how passive aggressive she is. It's just like total mom behavior. or she where they just make everything just like way more uncomfortable than it needs to be. But I also liked her interaction with Dedra, I think her name is, the girl. Where Dedra lays down the law. She's like, "Hey, I'll report your brother or something. If you don't stop being a word that I won't say because I'm respectful to women." But yeah, I love that scene. She's great. The actress is great. I saw people pointing this out. I think it's true, right? They left behind this droid. The flick, the flip, the frick. How could you? I love the end of this episode where Mon Mothma is just like dancing her guilt away in some sense, because she's obviously like horrified at the idea of her friend being killed, even though he was about to betray them. And I love that she's realizing the reality of being a part of the rebellion, and whether she at the end of the day is conceding because she recognizes that it's a thing that they have to do, or maybe she realizes that she's kind of just in too deep now at this point. Either way, she feels guilty about it, and seeing her just like drink away her guilt and starts just dancing, it was really well executed. Oh, by the way, disco droid. Honestly, goofy concept in theory, they totally made it work. The disco droid. And then the last thing, bro died. I really like this character. I really like this actor. I was genuinely sad when he died. So rip. He's a real one. Rest in peace. You know what I mean? You know what I mean. But yeah, overall, great show. Based on everything that I've heard from people that have seen the whole season, the first 3 episodes are the weakest ones. So apparently it just goes uphill from here, which is cool. So I'm excited. But yeah, let me know what you think in the comments down below. And I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.